Hey everyone, MelticMan234 here with a very random and unscripted video talking about Crash Bandicoot's big return, which they announced during his 20th anniversary, which is very fitting. So yeah, I've pretty much been a Crash Bandicoot fan for a very long time, and in fact, Crash Bandicoot was the first video game franchise that I got into, with Crash 3 being the very first video game I ever played on the original PlayStation. So, as for like this recent year, there's been a lot of talk like, "Ooh, Crash is coming back," with all these teases and popping up, and I wasn't really buying into it, mostly because most of these teases featured stock images of Crash Bandicoot from past material. Yeah, find a random image from Google Images, slap it into Photoshop, and call it a day. Yeah, that's one of the most easiest ways to tell that it's clearly a fake. And then I got into an argument with my friend of mine, which we put on a bet on it. But let's not get into that and save that for another time, otherwise we're gonna be here all day. So anyway, the whole deal with Crash Bandicoot being shown at the Sony press conference before E3 started, I think. Well, the way I experienced it is that somebody on Steam linked me a video that showed the Skylanders trailer bit for the new Skylanders game, and it had Crash Bandicoot in it for a PS4 exclusive, and then after that, Fanboy Rage! So in a nutshell, it was that piss-poor Crash Bandicoot rant that I made years ago, all over again. Oi. So as you can tell, I was extremely pissed off and really angry, and then I calmed down, eventually. And then later after that, somebody told me, like, oh, they're gonna remaster the classic trilogy. And it took me a while to find video footage of that, because I wasn't really buying that either. But then I found the video footage where it was actually the beginning part of the Skylanders trailer, where that guy that came out with the Crash Bandicoot shirt last year and teasing us, so now he's coming out saying, oh, hey, we're gonna be remastering Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 from the ground up. But first, here's the Skylanders trailer. So yeah, the whole deal with Crash Bandicoot coming back is like, yay, he's finally coming back after all these years. But we have to deal with the whole Skylanders crap first, so it was very bittersweet to me. Now, with Skylanders, well, I've never really played any of the Skylanders games. And, well, there's two reasons why I've never played any Skylanders games. The one obvious reason is that they killed off Spyro the Dragon. Hurr! And then the other reason is that I'm not really into the whole, buying toys to play playable characters and whatnot, and it's not really my thing. Call me old-fashioned, but I'd rather unlock all of the characters in-game. Sure, DLC's one thing, but having to pay $20 for every new playable character that I want to try out? No thanks. Of course, back to the other reason about how they have Spyro tacked in there. It's like, oh, Spyro the Dragon's in this game. That must mean it's part of the Spyro the Dragon franchise. No. To me, I don't count Skylanders as being part of the Spyro the Dragon franchise, simply because it's not a Spyro game. Sure, it has Spyro and Cinder from Legend of Spyro, but that's it. It doesn't really feel like a proper Spyro game. Like, Spyro games have been dead years and years ago. Like, after the Legend of Spyro trilogy, that was it. So I'm not really gonna bother with the new Skylanders games. Like, oh yeah, Crash is a PS4 exclusive, but I'm gonna get a PS4 anyway. Not because of the remasters, but I'm also gonna get it for Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2.8 whenever those games come out. Now let's go into more of the remastering topic. It's like, yeah, they're going to be remaking Crash 1, 2, and 3 from the ground up for PS4, I assume, unless Sony pulls out a asshole card and it's like, oh, they're going to be exclusive for the PS4 Neo, or whatever that exclusive updated console is called. I can't remember. There's been too many names for that PS4 Mark II idea. But anyway, for my thoughts on the remastering is like, sure, I like a remastered HD full take on the game, remake it, but have it still be fresh and new, but very familiar, just like the old games, don't just remake the whole darn game and feel it the same thing. Add some, variety. Don't make it too different, but have some flavoring in it, just like what they did with the DuckTales Remastered, where they had hand-drawn animation. The level design was different, I think. I don't know, I've never really played the original, so I'm cheating there. But hey, the original didn't have voice casting, so there, that's one advantage that the remastered version of DuckTales has. But yeah, anyway, on the voice casting thing for Crash, it's like, yeah, the one thing I'm really hoping for is that they don't use the current voice cast like they did for Titans and Mutants, like Nala North as Engine, and like I'm fine with Lex Lang being Cortex again, but I think it'd be really surprising if they could get Clancy Brown back to reprise Cortex and Uka Uka, since he was the original voice for Cortex and Uka Uka. So yeah, that might be cool to see them, playing the character for old times, seeing all these new lines. Yeah, I'm just hoping they don't, just pull out stock recycled sound clips and just use that for the voice lines. That's just being real freaking lazy. But yeah, that's really what I'm hoping for the remastered, is that they get new voice actors that sound similar to the ones that sounded like in the old games, and not just pulling out the last current voice actors from like Crash of the Titans and Mutants, because I really don't see hearing Greg Eagles' voice coming out of Aku Aku's old design. It just doesn't really fit for me. Yeah, along with Nala North. Nala North is a fun actor. He's done a lot of stuff with Team Fortress 2 and whatnot. But when he did Engine with the last couple of games, it just goes a little too overboard. That's the kind of stuff where it feels more comfortable when he does Marasmus. So I'm hoping they don't go that route for Engine. Make him sound like half robotic like they did in the old games. And with Tiny, well, nobody wants the new Tiny voice to be seen in the remaster. They want him, back to the grunt and growls that Tiny had, Bandicoots, I smash Bandicoots, Urgh. But I was about to count Crunch Bandicoot, but he didn't appear in the original, so no worries about him coming back doing that whole Mr. T mother thing that was just very dumb that happened in the last new games. And other than that, I think that's most of my worries that I hope don't come true. It's just the whole voice casting thing, as well as the personalities. I want it to be, very similar to how it was in the old games, and not just to do it like with Crash of the Titans and Mutants, because that was like back then I hated those games because redesigns here, but I eventually got over it when I got older, and nowadays I don't really like those games that much, mostly because of the completely different personalities that they had. So I'm really hoping they, go back and follow more into the original steps of the original games, and not just do, they don't want to do it like what they did with the Powerpuff Girls reboot, make it all internet meme and try and be quote unquote modern when it's not really being modern, it's just internet style. So that's what I'm really hoping for. No internet style, no Sonic Boom or Powerpuff Girls remake. No, don't do that. Now, one thing I'm really looking forward to about the remastering is the remastered soundtrack, which I assume they're gonna, remaster the whole soundtrack for the game, since the original Crash games have a lot of great pieces of music. Like, one of my favorite pieces of music from Crash 2 is Rocket slash Pack Attack. It's that level where Crash is riding the jetpack, and there's this awesome techno beat music. It's like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that remastered, and I don't know, maybe have it be orchestrated. Like, I can always see it being the music being done in more orchestra style, just like what they did with the Kingdom Hearts HD collections, where they went back and did the whole songs but in orchestra form, which will sound pretty cool. And I think that's all I gotta really say about this. So, yeah, I've been going around saying, like, oh, it looks fake, and on these past teasers. So, now that it's been confirmed that Crash is coming back, then I'm going to receive a never ending hate mail of people just constantly heckling me, saying, oh, you were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll take that any day instead of that whole Jaguar bullshit that people have to be so nitpicky on word pronunciation, because, word pronunciation is a bitch. Now, one of the reasons why I felt like doing this is because, well, I might as well get this out of the way so that people won't stop pestering me about it, because the recent Forgotten Media episode that I posted, which is dedicated to the Cute Mario Brothers' 10th anniversary, and I look in the comic section, and half of that stuff is about Crash Bandicoot coming back. So yeah, comments on a video that has nothing to do with Crash Bandicoot. There's a discussion board on my main YouTube channel that's more used to these kind of random comments. I mean, seriously, why has that become so taboo these days? Well, sorry for sounding like an asshole, but I'm just not really used to, posting work, and then somebody posts a comment that has nothing to do with the work that I just posted. And with that said, I'm hoping to finish the other Crash Bandicoot Forgotten Media episode that I've had in the works for his 20th anniversary, but there's just been a lot of things going on, like so many projects that I've been planning, a lot of personal life going on since I've been doing some, doing a summer job and everything and such. But either way, I'm very happy to see Crash Bandicoot finally coming back after all these years. And, Activision's finally listened to us with the remastering idea and whatnot. So, yeah, I think Spyro the Dragon's anniversary is coming up in like a year or so. So, hey, if we pester the ever living hell out of them, then we'll get a remastering of the classic Spyro trilogy as well. Yeah, coming out when Vector Man 3 comes out, which is never. The one thing I did find it a bit annoying is that they announced the whole Skylanders thing, and I'm sure that Skylanders would crash it. I'm sure it's already gotten a release date. But with the remastering thing, that was just announced, and that was it. So it seems like with like the before E3, there have been like several articles saying of like how Sony has no plans for Crash at the moment, and then this just comes out as it's either a last minute thought or Sony was just being a deliberate asshole and just lying to us deliberately about the whole deal with Crash coming back. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'm eventually gonna get a PS4. I'm gonna get Kingdom Hearts 3 and 2.8, and because I love me some Kingdom Hearts stuff. And then of course I'm gonna get the remastered Crash Bandicoot trilogy whenever that comes out, maybe like 2020 or 2018, who knows. Well, yeah, hopefully I'll have a PS4 at that time. Now, if only I could get my hands on a Wii U console. Well, I think that's all I gotta really say about that. So, yeah, bye.